94 Feet Nation, what's good? What's good? It's your boy Dre in the building. We got our big brother back. Zeke, welcome back, brother.
Yeah, what up, what up, what up? I'm back in the building. I'm glad to be here. It was a long 2 weeks, dealing with sickness and I said dealing with sickness, and that wasn't the kind, ladies. But no, I'm just dealing with sickness, and it wasn't corona, so that's always good.
Says.
And
so he say.
Well, if I do have corona, Lob City.
I am fully vaccinated. No, what's good? My brother Keith, how you doing, man?
What's good, good people? It's all good over here.
What's good? What's good? We are always...
We're still up 2-1.
We always start this show off with some fake drama. Like, it never fails. Every single episode is an argument or a laugh, usually at the expense of our big brother Zeke or me. They like to pick on me, but we're glad to be back in the building. It has been... What were you going to say? Go ahead. You was about to say something slick.
No,
go ahead.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
It was Keith this week.
Yeah.
No, it was me this week. Y'all riding me like a rodeo.
That's because you riding for a nigga that ain't worth nothing.
This is our producer, and we were hoping to have an episode explicit, but we're going to blame the producer today.
I'll take this L, bro. I will take this L.
That is all right.
Just so you good people know, they're riding me because of
Stop it.
my personal preferences.
Yeah, I mean, which
of Kwame Brown.
which is he before we started the show, he really defended Kwame Brown as if he was an MVP. He really
I did not defend him as he's an MVP.
You might as well.
I defended him
He
as
defended him.
being tortured as a child.
Tortured as come on now we child abuse. Oh my!
All right,
Man.
let's dive.
Y'all
in, people.
homeboy,
Let's dive in because that is not on the script.
the great MJ.
Do I need to censor you?
Censor me then.
What does that mean? I don't know.
That means unplug his mic and have
Okay,
him walk out
all
the
right.
studio.
This is what I come back to.
Listen.
People unplugging mics.
Oh my God!
Wow.
My
Okay.
Structure. You come back to structure.
That's what it is. Okay, that's what this. All right.
Let's dive in. Let's dive in, people. We're talking about, first and foremost, I need to own this. I promised my brothers that I would own this. I want to first apologize to the Milwaukee Bucks
Thank you very much. We appreciate it.
for not believing in the Bucks to get the job done. I did not expect a sweep, but we'll talk more about that as we get into the show. But the first things first, in this episode, NBA fans are taking it way too far. NBA fans, we all know, have been emotional. We all know that NBA fans, depending on where you live, they can be a little cruel. They can be very disrespectful. And so this past week in the NBA, two big stories came out. First and foremost, a fan threw popcorn at Russell Westbrook, and he thought it was the end of the world.
Westbrook.
I said Russell Westbrook. Russell Westbrook.
He said Russell.
He said Russell.
I said
Russell.
Censored both of y'all today. How about that?
No, my mic is going.
Okay. All right. So listen. So Russie was very offended by that, as he should have been. And then another fan spit on Trae Young. Another fan spit on Trae Young. And it obviously got a lot of emotion out of the NBA players. A lot of tweets went off. A lot of opinions went off. So the question at hand, what are your thoughts on emotional fans and players' reactions? And what can the NBA do to stop this, if anything? Big Brother Zeke, we want to hear from you. Welcome back, bro.
First of all, thank you for welcoming me back. I don't think any NBA can really do anything about it, but what they've already done, they've banned some fans and they've kicked people out, once that person was pointed out. I find it interesting that you also forgot to mention what happened to Ja Morant and his family.
I missed that. Bring us up to speed.
They were in the they were at the Utah game in Utah. They were getting some racial slurs thrown at them.
Oh, that shouldn't surprise anybody in Utah.
So one of the things that the Russell Westbrook situation is very.
I know you're not correcting me on names.
Hey, sir, if you got the name wrong, you got the name wrong. But it's one of those things where like it's really messed up because he was like they were losing by 20, and you can see him leaving after he got his ankle was like injured. He kind of twisted his ankle, so he was leaving, and for a guy to throw popcorn on him, it's one of those things where like this was really disrespectful and unnecessary. Looking at all these situations with fans, I find two things very interesting. One, they were all white. This is some WAP, white people shit, all day, every day. That's first of all. Second of all,
there goes the double explicit tag.
There it is. I'm back. So that's one thing, and then the second thing was this kind of always happens to Russell Westbrook. I don't know if y'all ever noticed that, but every time a situation when a fan and a player happens, it's usually Russell Westbrook. And I like with the Kwame Brown situation, when you gonna look at yourself in the mirror? I'm not saying that Russell is not
so you're
wrong.
blaming Russell
I'm not
for this?
blaming him. I'm saying that he's wrong because you should feel disrespect if somebody throw some popcorn on you or spitting at you or whatever the case may be. But I just find it interesting that this is always happening to one individual guy. It's like a person who's always getting into fights. What about your energy is saying, I want to punch you in your face? I don't know. But I think that, the NBA really can't do anything about it. But what they've already done, which is like ban some fans for life. Some of these guys are season ticket holders. So they feel that they have like the privilege and the right to say whatever they want to say. And I always feel like, once you go beyond the 94 feet that's on the floor, and not talking about basketball, talking about people, kids and their wives and stuff like that, you kind of do deserve to get ran up on. But most of the time when these players run up on people, they don't have anything to say. Well, I'm sorry, I didn't mean that. But it's like this to me. This is just some white people stuff because you'll never hear about black people reacting to this type of stuff like at no point in time.
Well, I mean, let's not make it about race, but I get what you're saying. Our producers weighing in.
Meta, world, peace.
So since you brought that up, that's actually what I was going to say. The NBA won't be happy until there's another situation with Ron Artest and Ben Wallace. And let's not even go back to, first of all, we all know Ben Wallace started that melee at the Palace. He was overbearing, he was rude, and then all the fans in Detroit got involved.
He didn't
Indiana.
He didn't run up in the stadium because somebody, I think, threw something at him.
They poured their drink on him as he was walking out. But this all started because Ben Wallace. Another story for another day. Go back and look at the tape. Ben Wallace, overly aggressive behind, started this.
I mean,
that's between them two. But
truly, he got a little riled up, but it didn't go anywhere until that fan decided to take it to that next level. And I think when you're a fan, you have to be a fan and not try to be like you own the player and like you can do whatever you want to do to them. That's how I feel when when a fan does that to a player. Like you dumping popcorn on them because you think you paid enough money to do that.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
I think that just goes back to home training, man. I just think that here in America, we have very privileged people. We have people that feel like they can do and say whatever they want from the moniker free speech. We have people that believe, I'm just intense and in the game. I'm going to do this because I can. This is a whole new America that we're living in. We've talked about how it's been in America, especially the past 4 or 5 years, and people have a boldness that they wouldn't have otherwise. Okay, of course I'm going to hit Zeke in his jaw with 5 people holding on to him. Yeah, let me get a sucker punch in because I know they're not going to let him go to attack me. Okay, and that's what happened with Russell. I didn't even see the spit, but the spit on the face to me, that's a hate crime.
Well, I seen the spit. So I seen the spit, and what happened was Trey was taking the ball out of bounds, and there was a fan behind him, and he spit in his direction. The spitting never even landed on him. But it's the principle behind the matter. It's the balls behind that you feel like you're able to, like Kesey just said, like. You have these premium seats, but you feel that you have the right to spit on someone. One of the most disrespectful things you can do to a person, and you feel like you have the right. Now, me being devil's advocate here.
Sure.
Oh, here we go.
When it comes to stuff like that in New York, I kind of like it. I kind of like it. It brings back that 90s feel. That Spike Lee and Reggie Miller going at it toe to toe. Now, without the disrespectful stuff. I like that energy. Like, I hate you. Trey talking that talk.
But is that why you always pick fights with us before we start this show?
I don't pick fights with y'all. Now, will I correct you if you wrong? Oh, I'm going to correct you if you wrong.
Listen, I like it when the fans are aggressive and they taunting the players, but it's a certain level of respect you have to have for these athletes who are putting on a show for you to enjoy. You still have to have a certain level where you shouldn't go, and that's not. Especially spitting. Come on, man. Think about it.
And on top of that,
that's bodily fluids.
And on top of this, one of the things it's messed up because we just got back to being in these arenas. Like, we just got back here, and that's really messed up that we're already talking about this, even though we just got back here.
Well, again, too, I also think that as sports fans, especially football fans, but basketball fans is this show, we tend to be very emotional. I remember sitting at a Packers game and the fans behind me were taking roll call of what players were kneeling during the anthem. And they proceeded to call them vulgar names, disrespectful names. And I turned around and said, that's not even necessary. First of all, you're disrespecting them and you're disrespecting me. Being a person of color, hearing your personal thoughts because you don't agree with what they're doing. At the end of the day, you are a fan, okay? You can cheer and you can boo, but you can't make things personal. You can't call LeBron James the B word as he's walking by and think that's appropriate. That is disrespectful.
I mean, what do you do, though?
That's disrespectful. You can boo him. You can call him names. You can even call him a whiner, but to call him the B word, right? Or to dump popcorn, or to spit, or to attack and harass. There's a difference between bullying and harassment. They're different. Okay?
Let me ask you a question.
They are different.
Can I ask both of y'all a question?
And harassment,
but hold on one second.
Cannot do.
But I think, hold on. How many times have you played basketball and the B word has come out?
If you're playing with each other and it's in the spirit of competitiveness, if you and I are playing, let me finish. If you and I are playing and you talking and you jaw-jacking to me and you call me a word, fine. But fans in the stand, as I'm walking back to the locker room, LeBron, you're a bitch.
So my thing is, what does it matter what they say? I don't care about what they say. Mm-hmm. My only issue is when they make it physical. Like they want to throw the beers, they want to throw the popcorn, they want to spit.
That kind of goes back to my question.
That's where I'm going. As a person, as an athlete, and the money you make.
That's part of it.
You have to realize that's part of it. You just have to learn to ignore it.
So I have to take your disrespect just because I'm an athlete.
But you
to a certain level.
Wait a second.
Hold on, let me finish. But let me finish.
Level.
But my thing is, that is what the event staff is for. When they see them doing that, that's when the event staff has to escort them up out of there.
So my question for y'all is,
you don't entertain it and try to go up there like.
What's crossing the line?
What are you going to do?
What's crossing the line between y'all two?
I remember when my boy Mel and I, we were season ticket holders together, and we were in the second row of the Bucks-Knicks game. And I went to try to catch a shirt. And the security walked over to me. He said, no, we don't do that down here. He was like, you take a seat, you be quiet, you cheer.
I just want to put this out there that Dre has also passed that along to every person that has been a season ticket holder that has been in his presence. He has passed that along.
Yes, he has.
To every single person. That has been a season ticket holder along him.
What do you mean?
I reached out for a t-shirt and Dre, we don't do it over here. We don't reach out for t-shirts. No, we don't do it over here. So therefore I brought somebody to a Bucks game and I said, whoa. We don't do it over here. He said, what you mean? We don't do it over here.
You know it's bad because I did it to my son too. You know it's bad.
I didn't want to say who I did it to, but I did it to a little kid too. Hey,
I sat there and the shirt came. I said, don't you get up. Don't you get up out of that seat. You want me to buy you a shirt? Come on.
Well,
I did it to my little cousin too. I was like, hey man, I'll get you a little shirt. No, we don't do that over here. We don't do that over here.
Listen.
So I say that to say, I was told then, and I was just going for a shirt. You can cheer, you can boo, You could even say Bucks and 4, like they did at the Forum. You can even do that. But when you start dumping out popcorn and beer and you're using profanity, there's no place as a fan for you to harass players that way.
Okay, I just want to get something real. So what you're saying is, Dre, no word, like no profanity, no negative comments, just booing.
No. I'm saying directed toward a player.
That's what I'm saying.
If
Directed towards a
LeBron
player.
is walking to his locker room or any player, there is no point to yell profanity saying, F you, LeBron, you B-word, F you, don't let me catch you outside. Because
Listen.
in today's America, that's perceived as a threat.
Casey, what do you
They've
think?
been doing that since I've been watching basketball.
I don't think
But
they've
I've
been
not.
doing that.
But I haven't seen them where they go to the physical, where they want to throw the popcorn and the beers. I wasn't used to that. I was used to the hecklers. Oh, you're not this and you're not that. You're a son of a, and you're this and you're that. I've heard that. As a matter of fact, I've been in college games.
Oh, it's worse.
And I've heard.
Well, see, because some college games don't even sell beer, so it's not worse.
But
I would disagree.
They don't
with that.
sell beer, but
They
I
don't
guarantee
sell
you,
alcohol.
I would guarantee they had some beer before they came to the game.
I mean, we've been to Madison together, walking down the street, and it's like, man, this is where the party at.
It's
Forget
lit.
the game.
Listen.
Seriously. No, I get it.
I've been in games and I've heard people say things like, dang, they really said that? But I'll be like, oh, okay, it's just, they don't even matter. I just kept it moving.
I mean, and I think that even players of today can agree with Kesey as far as like, as long as if you just keep the heckling towards me, I'm good. But once you get to talking about my wife and stuff and such, then we got to have a problem. Even amongst players, like when Kevin Garnett said to Carmelo Anthony, your wife tastes like honey butts of oats.
Yeah.
He was like, meet me outside, my nigga, because that's taking it too far. Even when Draymond Green and LeBron James got into it, they got into it because LeBron James has a trigger word. That trigger word was said. He called him a little bitch.
Yep.
And then they got into it. So everybody has their trigger words. I think that, and even when LeBron James got into it with that fan, you know, she was saying some of the
whining
the whining courtside Karen.
But what did she do? She stopped. The minute he turned around and
No,
charged her up.
well, everybody's going to stop once. If LeBron James or any other player hears you, of course you're going to stop. You know, he's 6'8", he's 250. I'm going to keep on egging him on because I want him to hit me, but you don't want to get kicked out the game. So I'm with Kesey when, you know what I'm saying, if you call me a little bitch or oh man, LeBron, you a bitch and da-da-da, whatever, it is what it is. Because I think that what makes the NBA sometimes great, the interaction between player and fans. And the smarter the comment or the funnier the comeback makes it more viral.
But see, I'm the type of person where if somebody do that to me, I'm like, oh, you a little bitch, your mama.
Yeah, something like
That's what
that.
I turn around and say.
Yeah, but
It takes one to know one.
Exactly.
That's the type of person I am, and that's how these NBA players have to be. They can't lose their cool. Because listen, at the end of the day, you have more to lose than they got.
And we are not under the same type of pressure that they're under. We're not under the pressure to have to be perfect 24/7. We're not under the pressure of being in the public's eye. LeBron and we don't have to worry about our families being in the stands, being heckled and harassed if I'm having a bad game. Trae Young's mom was in the stands crying because of the way folks were heckling her son and her. She was in the stands crying. They showed her on tape. There is no place in basketball. If you're that type of fan, stay home. If you can't control your liquor, stay home. But you do not have the right to harass players nor their families.
Yes, sir, boss.
I'm not saying you have, like, I agree with you, but I think we have to draw the line and really define the word of harass, because that word being thrown around like this is a workplace for LeBron James. Mm-hmm. But if I want to call him a whiny little bitch in the midst of a game, like if I want to yell that out and he hears it and he kind of waved me off, no harm, no foul. What happens is if he points me out and be like, "Hey, that guy right there, yeah, I want him out of here." Then it's a problem. But then I'm looking at you like, really, dog? That you that sensitive? When it comes to like racial slurs, I draw the line there. When it comes to derogatory stuff like your wife was sucking my dick last night, and then I'm like, oh, really? it's one of them things where
We about to get X-rated in here.
Triple E today. Jeez.
if we gonna be in this thing, we gonna be up in this thing. But I'm just saying, like, I think Kesey agrees that that type of stuff you could just wave off.
But listen, even as an educator, kids call you out your name all the time.
Yeah,
but listen, as me being the adult and the role model in the situation, and me having more to lose in the situation,
you do it when the camera's gone.
I can I can walk away from it and not let it bother me.
I think that's part of being a mature adult. Like,
because at the end of the day, I still have a job to do, and I still got things to do. So I can't let that be a distraction to what I got going on.
Yeah. All right. Well, we agree to disagree, but fans.
Yeah, I know you're going to disagree.
Fans need to know their role. They need to know their role.
94 feet. 94 feet. What do y'all think?
What does that mean?
Huh?
You said you knew I was going to disagree. What does that mean?
It was sarcasm, man.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
You want to fight? He got real aggressive.
He got real aggressive. He step outside for me.
Now we know who's sensitive.
We already had the episode, and I think we all fell a little bit under in that category. But moving on, fans, control yourselves.
No, he got real aggressive.
He
almost wanted to put his hands on.
He cut the record. He's like, "What you say?
What you say?"
So,
no, he said, "What you say?"
So 94 feet, we're back to normal. It's 2-1 again. It's 2-1 again. But anyway, let's move on. The Milwaukee Bucks dominated the first round of the playoffs against the return of the soundboard.
Well, we ain't heard that in a couple weeks.
I'm excited for my Milwaukee Bucks. I mean, you doubted them, so I'm excited for them.
You're excited, but you won't go to a game. Another story for another day.
What does that have to do with anything? I was there cheering them on.
Listen here. Listen here. Shout out to Doug Turner, Sheila Prue watching us on our Facebook Live. Thank you for make sure you all like us on social media, Twitter and Instagram. So the Milwaukee Bucks dominated the series. And a couple weeks ago, Kesey and I, when Zeke was out, we gave our predictions. Kesey had the Bucks 4-2, and I had Miami 4-3.
I said 4-1, didn't I?
You said 4-2. Don't try to clean it up.
I don't know.
Hey, can he double check?
Don't cover for him.
I was just saying, like, you coming for his neck.
He upset with me now. He got real sensitive on me today. So my bad. I apologize, bro. I didn't mean to offend you.
You're welcome.
And if I offended you, I don't give up. No, good people. That's my brother.
So, no, seriously. And so, anyway, we both were wrong, but I was more wrong because
you doubted the Bucks?
My assessment was during Game 1. And most people would agree that Game 1, the Bucks did not look like they were ready.
But they won the game.
In fact, the Bucks should have lost the game. But anyway,
wow,
Game
you're
2,
a Bucks fan, huh?
Talking about Game 1. Now let me give my rebuttal. Game 2, the Bucks dominated. Game 3, the Bucks dominated. Game 4 looked a little rocky, but the Bucks came back and dominated. So, first off, Bucks Nation, I apologize. I stand totally corrected, and I apologize for not picking my Milwaukee Bucks to win the series. I apologize. I'm a longtime Bucks fan. I should have had more faith in the Bucks. I should have, but I didn't. So
Milwaukee Bucks do not let him in your arena this week?
Let me in because that game they won by almost 50. I'm just saying.
Listen, I don't know if y'all know this, but the Bucks got tougher every game. What happened?
So the question is, are the Bucks now the biggest threat to the Lakers repeat? But we're not even talking about the Lakers who are losing to Phoenix right now. Depending on when you're listening to this episode, we're recording this on Sunday, the 30th of May. Whenever you're listening, so we're not going to talk about the Lakers right now, but are the Bucks, are they a serious contender? Should folks be taking their run serious? Go ahead, Keith, start us off.
Yes, you should really be taking the Bucks serious now. The beatdown they just put on the Miami Heat, you had Udonis Haslem throwing chairs. Come on now. What does that tell you?
Well, it tells me that that he can beat everybody's ass on that team. That's what that tells me. Because nobody say nothing.
Yes.
Nobody said a word.
Nobody said a word.
Nobody got up.
Nobody got up.
Everybody did this. Took a sip of their water. Like,
oh, this nigga's mad. I don't want to say now they're a contender. I think they were a contender beforehand. I wasn't here to give my predictions, but I was thinking that the Bucks would beat Miami. I just thought it would be a tougher matchup. I was more happy about game 4 than I was the other 3 because game 4 showed me that the Bucks were able to power through a run of Miami's. Like Miami pretty much had the first half, pretty much controlled the first half, and then the third quarter, and that's when the Bucks went on like a 24 run. So that was more potent to me going forward because they're going to have to do that again against hopefully Brooklyn and Philadelphia and even the Lakers if they make it that far. So I think that game was more potent than any other game because those other, like the game 2 and 3, it was just red hot shooting. But for them to fight through the red hot shooting, for Giannis to not, he missed his first almost 8 buckets, and then for him to record a triple double, that shows what kind of team the Bucks are, and I'm really excited to see how far they go.
You know what? After that first game ended, and the Miami Heat played in game 2, game 3, the Miami Heat, I knew during game 2, and I think I texted one of you or both that the Miami Heat was not a team we needed to worry about anymore. The Miami Heat, after game 1, did not look like a team that even belonged in the playoffs. The Miami Heat looked like a team that was built for bubble basketball. I'm talking after game 1. Game 1, Miami looked like it was a branch off of the bubble. Okay, none of us can sit at this table. If you play the tape back, Zeke wasn't here. You and I even agreed that the Bucks needed to step it up. We thought Miami looked great in the first game.
I did, but after that game 1, I said if Bucks win game 2, it's a sweep.
And you were right. And all I'm going to say is I was glad to see the fight in the Milwaukee Bucks. The Bucks, we saw the emergence of new stars. Okay, we saw Forbes come on and give us a little Steph Curry.
I just want to say this, though. Shout out to Drew Holiday, man.
Drew Holiday deserves
Thank you, Milwaukee, for making that trade because I feel
he got snubbed for Defensive Player of the Year. Go ahead.
He might have got snubbed, but the man is solid on both ends of the floor, and I think he's an upgrade.
He's a big upgrade. What I will say, and we're going to talk more about the playoff breakdown coming up, I don't want us to get too comfortable. The Bucks have to keep that dog fight up because we all think that they're going to play Brooklyn.
We know they're going to play Brooklyn.
Hold up. The series isn't over.
They only up 2-1.
Hold up.
And don't forget Tatum just went off.
Let's not get off. We're going to talk about that coming up. Hold tight. Okay? But let's not act like Brooklyn, if they can pull it off, are the Miami Heat. Because they're not.
I think we all can agree to that. I think this was just something good for morale. I think this sweep was good for morale. I think it's good for the team. Now, the messed up part is we got a week off.
Or longer if Boston steps it up. See, here's the thing to remember. If Boston can pull off a win today, you have longer than a week because a win today by Boston guarantees 6 games.
That's very true.
Guarantees 6 games.
Now, I'm going to come to reality. Jason Tatum's not going to score 50 again. As bad as the Brooklyn Nets are on defense, I doubt Jason Tatum scores 50 again. But going back to talking about the Milwaukee Bucks, I think that, like I said before, this is a good sweep for morale. I think this is one of those games. This is a series that we needed. Even if the series would have went 6 or 7 games, I think it would have been bad for morale. And I think that, like Giannis said, he said, there's a saying, you don't play with your food, and we didn't play with our food. We got to it. I'm like, okay, that's what I'm talking about. You need to have that fight. And it's going to be hard after a week, but just for argument's sake, let's say it is Boston or Brooklyn, whoever. I think that we're well prepared.
Yeah.
I think we're well prepared.
Yeah. If it comes down to Brooklyn, do you believe, Keith, the Milwaukee Bucks has what it takes to beat the Brooklyn Nets? Now, I picked Brooklyn and the Lakers for the finals. I'm sticking by that prediction. That means I have to vote against my Bucks again, but I hope I'm wrong.
I'm telling you like this. The Bucks have the most two-way players of any team in the league.
The what?
Most two-way players.
The best two-way players?
The most two-way players.
Oh, you mean more than one? Okay,
more than one.
Okay.
Because Drew Holiday plays
Giannis.
both ends of the floor. Giannis plays both ends of the floor.
Middleton
plays both ends of the floor.
Forbes
play both.
Forbes can. We're not going to call him a lockdown defender, but he gets back on D and he's quick.
Yeah, but
I
that ain't who I'm talking about. Forbes who? No, let me stop.
Forbes,
shout out to Forbes, man. You putting in work, bro.
Bruh, if it had not been for Forbes, the blowouts wouldn't have been the blowouts because he's close to 3-point records. Go ahead, Keith.
As a team, though, I think that's like team defense. And I agree with you. With Giannis and Holiday, these guys are playing both ends of the floor. Middleton is getting, better shots. And Forbes, and I don't think anybody – that's what we got him for. But I don't think – because we didn't see it during the season.
But also, man, don't
he
forget –
He didn't play a lot.
Also, don't forget about Brook Lopez, man. He has been putting in work. He has stepped it up, and he is now playing both ends.
And I finally have a better understanding of P.J. Tucker's role.
Oh, now you do, huh?
He still had a straight zero stat line.
I wasn't here, but I did hear you disrespect.
He had a zero stat line.
He's not a stat line guy.
He's a rebound or something or elbow somebody.
But listen,
do you know why he's here?
He's the bully. He's the dog. He's the dog.
He's the dog. And it's going to be games where dogs don't score.
And that's fine by me.
But I guarantee you that dog has a big bark.
Darnell Malone and Trinity Malone, who host the Imperfectly Perfect podcast, I agree with you. See what I just did there? PJ Tucker is not there to score. There. One of our other podcasters that listens.
But he will
be out on it.
But
I disagree with you, Jurassic. Come on, huh? Stick to the relationships.
But
just kidding. Shout out to the Imperfectly Perfect podcast for holding it down for us all the way from Washington, D.C.
But he will score a bucket when you need it. If he's open, maybe. And especially if he's
fouled,
and if he's in that corner
three,
that corner three is knocked down.
Or
that's a shot.
Because he airballed a couple.
So
anyway,
you're gonna praise him then disrespect him? That's cool.
No,
that's cool.
Says the person who can't even hit an NBA free throw.
Jeez.
They ain't even gonna say NBA free throw. Layup.
Who?
With his right hand.
Who?
You not talking about me?
Man, I shot a free throw on the Bucks for when we picked our seats, and you were there, and I made it. You were there.
I don't remember that.
But of course you don't, because it's about me. But if it was Kesey, oh yeah, he made it, man, and he signed some
I've seen Kesey make many free throws.
Shut up.
You've seen me make free throws.
Anyway, congratulations to the Bucks. We are happy as hometown people that the Bucks are resting. They are in the second round. If it's Brooklyn, who do you got? If it's Brooklyn, hypothetically. Zeke, who you got? Bucks in Brooklyn, who you got? If it's Brooklyn. And what's the count?
I'm going to go Bucks 7 games.
Okay. Like to see it. Even though Brooklyn has home court. Keith, who you got if it becomes Brooklyn and the Bucks?
I am going to say Bucks in 6.
Okay. I picked Brooklyn to go to the finals.
So you're going to stick to it like...
I'm going to stick to it, and I'm going to say Brooklyn in 7.
Milwaukee, make him eat them words.
In 7.
And then don't let him in the arena.
Make me eat my words. I will happily eat the words.
I want the Bucks to really look at your season tickets. That's what I want the Bucks to do. Like, because I'm a basketball fan reporting on what the Bucks have shown. I'm just saying, like, I just feel like at every opportunity you disrespect the Bucks.
How am I disrespecting the Bucks saying that it's going to be a tough battle against?
You said they were going to lose.
To who?
To Brooklyn.
Bro, they have Harden, Durant, and Kyrie, 3 top 10 players.
All I know is those 3 guys don't hold defense.
So America, I hope I'm wrong. I'm going to cheer for the Bucks. I am not cheering for Brooklyn, proud season ticket holder, going to the playoffs when they come back here. But I believe that is going to be a tough. Honestly, I think beating Brooklyn is harder for the Bucks than to win the championship. I think if the Bucks can get through Brooklyn, the pathway to the championship is a lot easier. My opinion.
If the Bucks beat Brooklyn, to me, that's guaranteeing the championship.
Ooh.
That's guaranteeing the championship.
Do you like that, Keith?
You said if what?
If the Bucks beat Brooklyn, that's guaranteeing the championship.
Oh, guaranteed. I totally agree.
So you think the Bucks can beat your Lakers?
If the Bucks beat the Brooklyn Nets, they will win a championship this year.
I'm here for it. Moving on.
Are you?
Because I already said
here for it.
my picks were the Bucks, Lakers.
And my picks were Brooklyn Lakers. What are yours? You weren't here. What are your finals picks so all of America can hear? This is our big brother Zeke. What are your finals picks so all of America can hear it? Because you were not here.
So I'm not gonna put the final score of the Laker game because
We're going to talk about that coming up in a few minutes.
But I would have to say Bucks. You know what? Bucks and Phoenix.
Okay.
Bucks and Phoenix.
So Zeke has Bucks in the Suns.
Clearly, he doesn't know
So
basketball. If he thinks Phoenix is going to be in the finals.
Speaking of the Bucks, we have our first elimination of the playoffs, which is obviously the Miami Heat, and it was done decisively by the Milwaukee Bucks. What happens to the Miami Heat? What went wrong? Because this was a playoff collapse. Jimmy Butler was not playoff Jimmy, even though he had a triple-double in Game 4. It was a low triple-double. What happens to the Miami Heat? What went wrong? Were the Heat that bad, or were the Bucks just that good? Something happened.
I think the Bucks came in this year prepared, and they were determined that they were not going to get embarrassed again like they did last year. And by that, they set the tone in Game 2. Game 1 was like, what are we going to do? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, are we ready? We have a talk. Let's have a talk, y'all. We need to have a talk tonight after this game. What are we going to do? Are we going to show up and show out? Or we going to go ahead and not play with our food like Giannis said? And I think the Bucks had a discussion, and that discussion came out, we got to do better.
I mean,
and they came out and did better.
I think that why can't it be both? I think it's both. I think that the Bucks were, because if you like watch Miami throughout the season, they were dealing with injuries, they were dealing with some protocols,
COVID protocols,
the COVID protocols, and the exception that does LeBron James well, but it's one of those things where Miami. I think because Miami made the finals last year, people were expecting them to come out the gate red hot, and they didn't. They literally had to fight their way to the position that they got into in the playoffs.
The 6th seed. People forget that. They were number 6.
Yeah, but they had to fight to get there. So you can kind of, to me, you could tell that this wasn't the same Miami Heat with the energy and with the vernacular of the shooting, and it was just one of those things where I don't think people really believed in Miami when they first made it to the bubble, but for them to, collapse like they did, I don't even know if it's a collapse because, like I said before, this year has been a tough year for them. So I think it was just one of those things where, like, the Bucks were prepared, and this isn't the same Bucks team as last year, and then also Miami was just
shout out to Jrue Holiday.
Yeah, it's not the same. It's not the same team as it was last year.
Shout out to Giannis.
No disrespect, Bledsoe.
Shout out to Giannis. Giannis is playing like a man possessed.
I don't even think that's the best thing. It's not get Giannis the ball at the top of the key and do something with it. It's let's pass this ball around because we have different playmakers.
I'm gonna tell you
now.
like this: the key to what is making the Bucks be successful is Jrue Holiday's ability to facilitate the team and give Giannis some time off the ball. And he doesn't have to be the person who makes all of the decisions for the Bucks every time they come up the floor.
Yeah.
So let's focus back in on Miami Heat. What's the problem? Do you have to now break up that franchise? Are you a player away? Because last year, even though bubble basketball, Miami Heat looked like a contending team. That first game, a lot of us were scratching our heads like, bro, that game shouldn't have been that close with an overtime win. It took an overtime to beat Miami.
But it took the Bucks some time to get adjusted and figure out what type of basketball they were going to play. And usually that's how it go the first game. The first game you're trying to figure out this series. What type of basketball do we have to play to beat them?
Yeah, that's true. I think that, like, going back to Miami, I just said it, like, Miami has been struggling all year, and they're lucky to be in a position that they're in. As far as what they do this offseason, obviously they need another superstar. Obviously they need to make some decisions because they have I can't think of his name right now, but
Victor Oladipo?
No, not him. The shooter, white boy.
Tyler Hero, Duncan Robinson.
Mm-hmm. His situation, like he's looking at a $20 million contract. They have the Dunham guy.
That's a lot for an inconsistent
Not Dunham.
shot.
It's done.
He's also going to be a free. Like, those are the two free agents that they have to look forward to. They got Bam and they got Jimmy, so they obviously need another superstar.
And Bam is the only reason that the Heat had a slight chance in Game 4, and because Bam was actually making shots.
He was making shots. I think Jimmy just looked tired to me.
Jimmy
to be honest
did
with
look
you.
tired.
He looked tired. Like I said, he was. They've been fighting all year, so I think that I don't think you have to necessarily break that team up. You just need to add different components to it, and I think the guys that they did add were veterans, and you try to mix the young with the old, and unfortunately it just didn't work out. But I don't think it needs to be a whole explosion of a team.
Is the coach out? Is Spoelstra out?
I don't think Spoelstra's out, but I think the blame
Pat Riley likes him. That's why he's not out.
I believe what caused Miami to lose is, like he said, they didn't make adjustments to how they should have adjusted to the Bucks playing them.
Yeah.
They kept some of the old heads out there just a little bit too long. And I don't want to say old heads, but the veterans,
players, yeah.
I should say. I think Iguodala and Trevor Ariza is good role players, but
Trevor scored no points in Game 3.
But he wasn't there for that. He was there for...
He's kind of like that Tucker role. He's there to kind of intimidate you, knock down a shot if he had to.
Yeah, he was a 3-and-D guy. Hit the three-corner three.
Do a push-up off Giannis' chest, that type of stuff.
Which was terrible. Like, what were you thinking? Almost stepped on his ankle when he got up.
Did you?
No, yeah,
I thought you said you almost stepped on his ankle when he got up.
Ariza, if you watch the play, he almost stepped on Giannis' ankle.
He gets down and dirty if he needs to. Don't get it twisted.
Okay. So we don't think the Miami Heat need to panic just yet.
I mean, what's your opinion?
Well, I think the Miami Heat, I think Jimmy Butler showed us once again that Jimmy can play, but Jimmy is not who you build your team around. Jimmy is the person that you add to the team. So, like you all argue about Kawhi Leonard, which we're going to get into a little later, I don't think Jimmy Butler is your guy. I don't think he can be the guy. I think he can be the guy next to the guy, like he was in Philly, like he was in Chicago with Derrick Rose. So Jimmy needs another player to help take that load off him. Because I don't know if you all noticed, when Jimmy has a bad game, Miami has a bad game.
I mean, I want to differ you just a little bit. Just because if you're the superstar, you're the leader of this team, that's how it's supposed to go. You have a bad game, we probably end up losing. But I'll say this about Jimmy. Even if he is the sole superstar, I don't want to say he's the sole superstar because Bam is starting to come out as, that they're that 1-2 punch. But I think that, Jimmy record kind of speaks for itself. In Minnesota, he was that guy, even if, when other guys weren't stepping up. Same thing in Philadelphia, because when he was in Philadelphia,
Philly had some stars playing next to them, bro.
But it was one of those things where, like, they weren't adding up to the superstardom. I think this year is Joel Embiid when it's Joel Embiid show.
Simmons is going to probably win Defensive Player of the Year. What do you mean?
He's not going to win Defensive Player of the Year.
Okay.
But, as a matter of fact, he didn't win Defensive Player of the Year. Rudy Gobert did.
Did they already announce it? I don't
Pretty
think
much.
they announced it.
They didn't announce it
They
They
yet.
didn't announce it yet?
He
Okay, it's
should
probably gonna
win it.
win.
That's what I picked. But go ahead.
But I think it's just one of those things where, like, Jimmy track record has proven that he can hold down a team. I think this year just wasn't his year. And you can't expect, besides LeBron James, I don't expect guys to pull off a solo, hold the team down every single year.
I think Miami.
Wait. So then why are we paying you the superstar dollars to hold our team down?
I don't expect it. I'm not. What I'm saying.
See what the problem is.
What I'm saying is LeBron James. If I have LeBron James on my team, I expect to make at least the Western Conference Final, at least the Eastern Conference Finals
Every year.
Every year.
Every year.
What I'm saying is, when it comes down to guys like Jimmy Butler, I don't expect to make the NBA Finals or the Eastern Conference Finals every year just because Jimmy Butler's on my team.
So you mean to say that Jimmy Butler should have went aside LeBron James and helped LeBron James get over that hump?
I didn't say that, Kesey. That's what you want.
That's kind of what you said. Sort of, kind of, you know what I mean.
You know what? I'm gonna let you throw that layup. I'm gonna let you throw that off the glass, and then I'm gonna roll with that.
You do it for me.
I'm gonna throw it off the glass. I'm gonna let you throw it off the glass. I'm gonna roll with that.
So Jimmy Butler, Miami needs to attract another star, and they might can get Kawhi Leonard because he'll be.
But see, don't forget they got Victor too.
Victor, who they're now saying, at first they were reporting that he may be out for the whole year, but now they're saying that he can come back in like
November,
December, which I don't trust for an injury-prone player like that. So Miami, we're split. Zeke says no need to worry yet. Keith doesn't quite know what he wants to say, and I think. What? You said a lot, but you didn't say anything.
He had your neck, Kesey.
You know,
I'm
just saying.
You see him?
He had your neck.
He had my head today.
LeBron back into this, and it wasn't even talking about LeBron. But anyway,
It was a lob that he threw me, but see, there you go, went over your head.
So
you're not a ball player.
Let's talk about the current playoff matches. Now, depending on when you're listening to this show, some games may have already been played, and series could be over depending on when you're listening. We are recording this again on Sunday, May the 30th, and let's just run through really quick and talk about your overall thoughts. Maybe highlight a few games and how you think the games, the series are going to go. The Utah Jazz are currently leading the Memphis Grizzlies 2-1. All I'm going to say about that series is Donovan Mitchell is the difference. Our boy Morant is a baller. He is becoming a superstar before our very eyes. I predicted this to be one of the most competitive games in the playoffs, and it has, with Utah with a slight edge. Donovan Mitchell, if he played game one, the series would be 3-1 in my opinion. I still have Utah winning this series, and I don't think it's going to go beyond 5 games.
I hate to, but I gotta agree with you.
Why do you hate?
I hate to. I really don't want to. I really shouldn't, but I am. No, but I agree with him. John Morant is a baller, but he's going to need a lot more help over there if he's going to be successful in the playoffs with that Memphis team. I mean, Brooks, what is his name?
Thou?
No, Brooks.
I know what you're talking about. I just can't think of his name.
Can't think of his first name
Talking
now.
about from Memphis?
Yeah.
You are talking about...
He had a very good last series, though, anyways. He had a very good last series.
He had a good play-in tournament.
But now it's a little different.
That the stage has changed.
You're talking about Dylan Brooks.
Yeah, Dylan Brooks. Now that the stage has changed, he's not as... It's not the same ball game as playing against a beat up Warriors team.
I think they're
and a beat up what did they play? The Spurs.
Yeah.
A beat up Spurs team.
I think they're getting him because he's a defensive guy.
But Brooks is the type of player you keep around though.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna lie.
What I'm saying
you
is
keep him around and you add your couple more pieces. Memphis is something to watch next year.
And let's not forget.
I don't even think they need a superstar.
That's what I said. I didn't say a superstar.
Yeah, I
just said a couple more
just
pieces.
Like
I'm gonna tell you,
veteran leadership would be very valuable.
A good veteran, would be valuable over there.
Think about it, they have Val, who's a walking double-double when he's healthy. He's been out a lot this season. So Memphis, I would argue, wouldn't even be in number 8 had they had Val and Morant all season. Because Morant went out for quite some time, too. So let's not forget that. But I think it's over. The series is over. Stick a fork in them. I think Utah's going to win this in 5. Keith?
I hate to, but, like I said, I shouldn't. But I agree.
I have confidence Memphis might get one more.
Okay. So
because they're too close to getting these these 2 losses, they've been really close to winning those games. And I think they haven't been able to finish the job, but they've been close in late fourth quarter. So I think they may be able to get one more out of that.
I'll tell you this though. If Utah wouldn't have brought Mitchell back, they would have been in trouble.
They would have been.
If Mitchell was really hurt and he couldn't have came back when they wanted him to come back, Utah would have been in trouble.
I already told you, Memphis, to me, that had a chance to be the most competitive team, and then Phoenix said, wake up. But if Mitchell played game 1, it would be 3-0. But moving on. The Los Angeles Clippers and the Dallas Mavericks. They did not expect to see Luka. Listen, I thought about you the whole time like this. This is Zeke's boy. Dallas is up 2-1. What I am afraid that Dallas is putting too much expectations on Luka, and it is going to break him down. He is the only one out there balling like he wants a title.
I'll say this.
Before you say that, fans, as of today, Game 4 is this evening, and Dallas leads the series 2-1, and I think we're back in Dallas. So
they're back in Dallas.
I don't think Luka might play.
No,
Luka's going to play.
Luka's going to play, but he's hurt.
You going to tell me, hold up, but you going to get yours in.
You cut my boy off.
And then you cut me off and get in what you got, what I was going to say.
Off first.
You see this?
Well, first of all,
you see this monkey wrench he threw in here?
Bro, I just want to say that he was telling me to talk, and you just kept on talking.
Thank you. Did I? Yes.
Yeah, that's what happens.
We told you that's your
role.
All
I was going to say was Luka might not play tonight. And then he cut me off, and he said Luka ain't gonna play tonight, and or whatever else he said.
Well, he's the producer now, so he got to get his.
Organization matters. Go.
It's a hierarchy. That's what I saw. But anyways, Luka.
Clap your hands like that in front of the mic. You almost started a fire in here. All right, y'all.
Okay.
Good people.
Go ahead. Dallas
going back on
time.
Dallas is up 2-1.
Down, man.
And
I don't know.
I watched game.
Not at all.
Do y'all want to?
Oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No,
Dre, go ahead.
2-1. Go ahead, Zeke. Your boy Luka. That should have been MVP.
I just think that Dallas is doing what they usually do. I think Luka has. I don't want to say Luka by himself has the Clippers number. But what I find interesting about this whole series is that the Clippers have a defensive stopper. Like, hey, this guy is killing us. Let's move him to him. Kawhi Leonard. And he still has it. I watched game 3 very, very carefully. And it's one of those situations. They're throwing everybody at him except for Kawhi. Now, I don't know what it's about Kawhi. He like to go up 0-2 and then he turn it on or something like that. But I just find it interesting that Luka is just he is killing every matchup that comes across him. But the 2 guys who should be locking him up, who should be attempting to lock him up, are running from him every chance they get.
Whoa. So you saying Kawhi is running from him?
Kawhi has been running from him. Paul George is running from him. These guys have not been holding him.
Listen,
it's been Patrick Beverly and Morris.
And
He's been dogging them.
I'm going to, man, you hit the nail on the head.
I don't understand it. I'm just looking at this game what is going on?
I'm trying to figure out, every time Paul George gets in the screen and roll with him, he makes sure he gets through that screen. He might not get through no other screens of the game. But when Luka is the person he might have to switch out on, he is suspect.
I just don't, and I'm like, what is going? That's one of the reasons why Kawhi was like, hey, get Paul George. He's a two-way player. Kawhi, two-way player. Right. Like that's your job. LeBron James. If something happened where this guy is killing LeBron James, I got him. Move. I got him.
If I'm Kawhi or I'm Paul George, and Luka's doing us the way he's doing us, I'm telling Beverly, go sit down. I'm telling whoever else, Morris, Rondo, anybody else that's on that bench, go sit down. I got him.
Well, I'm just going to say this. Luka is showing everybody why he is the future of the NBA. He is channeling his inner Dirk, as I said before.
According to who?
I am not going to say that that Kawhi is running from them, but what I will say, if Dallas can win and go up 3-1, it's a wrap. Dallas will win the series.
They almost went up 3. They almost went up 3-0.
They did. I picked the Clippers to win, but if Dallas can go up 3-1, and I like to see the dog in Luka. He did not run from Pat Bev. He got in his face.
Who did?
Luka.
Yeah, he was in his face.
Yeah.
He got in his face.
Because he told me you're too small. He's like, you too little.
He told me he's too little.
Listen, I'll tell you like this. The Clippers got out by the hair on their chinny chin in game 3.
They did.
I'm going to tell you the truth.
They did.
What do you always say? The grace of God?
By the grace of God. Kawhi was putting on the show all game long.
Kawhi gonna get his.
If he don't put on the show, if him and Paul George don't put on the show all game long,
it's a done deal.
They cannot beat Dallas.
It's a done deal.
The thing about it is Luka went out, and that's when the Clippers won their run.
That's when they run.
Luka is a headache for any matchup, though, any team, because of his size and his ability.
That's why I said I feel like Dallas is putting too much on him because Luka he's playing injured tonight. Mm-hmm. Okay, he's probably going to play 40+ minutes because no one else. Porzingis, it's like he's not even there.
He kind of reminds me of like the Dirk glory days.
I said that, a young Dirk Nowitzki.
You called it out though, but he's playing like the young Dirk days where Dirk was just untouchable. Do y'all remember when Dirk had that turnaround and Luka has perfected it almost now,
killing it. So I say if it is a must-win game for the Clippers tonight. You do not want to go back to Dallas down 3-1. I'm sorry, back
to L.A.?
Yeah, back to L.A. You don't want to go home 3-1 because you can't stop Luka. What you got?
As far as the series?
What do you like coming up? Do you still got Dallas? Or because you didn't tell us, so this is your chance to give us what you thought. I picked the Clippers, but if Dallas goes up 3-1, it's over. Stick a fork in the Los Angeles Clippers. Stick a fork in.
Listen,
I don't think. Going back to my pick. Despite Luka killing them, I think that the Clippers going to win it in 7, just because the 2 games that they did lose was the wake up call that they needed.
It's not the wake up call because you have to realize last year they were up 3-1
and lost.
So that automatically lets you know you cannot get. Don't matter. You cannot take these teams for granted.
That's what I'm saying. That's why I said the wake up call, the 2-0, they being down 2-0 and home field advantage out the door. And I think they're gonna. That's the wake up call.
Paul George to come on and say we're not worried and we're down 2-0.
That was the stupidest.
Well, I mean, he's the same guy that said Dame's shot was a lucky shot when he eliminated the Oklahoma City Thunder 2 years ago. So you know Paul George is going to Paul George.
I mean, come on, Paul.
That's what he's going to do.
I like your game, bro. But you cannot.
When he shows up.
You have to be worried. You're down 2. You were down 2-0 to somebody you can't guard.
He can't. He can't guard it. I don't.
So according to my brothers, Luka is unguardable.
I'm talking about for the Clippers.
Okay.
For the Clippers. He has the Clippers numbers.
Okay.
It's kind of like how I thought Miami had the Bucks number.
Yeah, same.
The Dallas Mavericks got the Clippers number.
All right.
And I think they're going to beat them in 6.
Let's
And,
move. Go ahead.
and I mean, going back to it, because you were kind of hinting at, like, what do the Clippers do if they lose?
Oh, Kawhi's out of here. But that's another story. Let's talk about that next week.
We can talk
'cause
about that.
Let's talk about that next week. Denver and Portland. All I'm saying is Joker, the MVP, will get his. And if he doesn't, when Joker leaves the game, Dame should be in the game. Because Joker's the only player on Denver who can do anything to keep them in it. When he's not playing, it's like this game is boring. This game is boring because nobody on Denver can do anything if he's not having an on night. It's a 2-2 series. I think it's going to go the long haul. Portland beat the brakes off of them yesterday. 20-point victory. Dame was Dame. But again, I'm going to rock with Portland, man. I'm rocking with Portland, but I think it's going to go 7.
I think it might go 7, but it's going to be up to the role players and
Denver doesn't have any.
which team has the best role players. And I think
Portland.
it's Portland. So I think Portland comes out victorious in 7.
I think that
They're tied 2-2. They play again on June 1st.
so home field advantage is out the window now.
Yep, doesn't even matter.
So I'm gonna go with I'm gonna go with Denver just because Portland is their overall team. Excluding Dame, they're inconsistent.
Portland is very inconsistent.
Portland's very inconsistent.
Dame can have
Dame
some
is-
inconsistent when
Dame is
go.
gonna get you 30. He's gonna get you 35. He's gonna shoot from half. It's Dame time. We get it. But his team is inconsistent.
But I think the key to them being successful so far in this series is
the bench.
New Orleans knows he has played.
Who? No, it's a serious question.
No, what's his name?
Powell.
I mean Powell. I said no.
Yeah, that's what I'm
I'm
saying.
thinking,
Who?
I'm thinking about
Don't he play for the Knicks?
yeah. He's playing
Yeah,
for the Knicks.
okay,
I'm
he's
thinking
for the Knicks.
I'm thinking
Okay,
about the wrong.
yeah,
you
Norm
gotta be a
Powell.
friend,
Norm
bro.
Powell.
Norman.
I'm like, wait, what?
He look. He agreed with me.
I'm agreeing.
He like, yeah,
Rocking.
yeah,
I'm like,
yeah,
wait, he played for the Knicks.
Yeah, that's him.
I'm like, what?
But he is that
No.
player you reference is balling for the Knicks.
But he
we'll go
balling
back
for the
to that.
Knicks too. But I'm talking about New Orleans Powell.
Yeah, okay.
He is an upgrade from that position at the Gary Trent because they had Gary Trent. Remember?
Yeah.
And I think he is a little bit better than him, and I think that's what's going to get them over the hump. And not to mention, he is a champion. He was
He
on
is
that
a
Toronto
champion.
Raptors team. They won a
is.
championship.
He is.
All right, so you got Portland or you got Denver? Based on where we are now,
I got Portland.
Portland, Zeke.
I got Denver in 6.
Okay, Denver in 6.
No,
They gotta
I'm
win the
sorry.
next two.
I got Denver in 7.
All right. Whew. I'm waiting on our super producer to text me back the time because I think I might want to skip this next one. Did you? Okay. All right. Ooh. Oh, that's where we are right now? Yeah. Okay. So we're looking at Kesey is about to go nuts. So let's preface this. We got the Phoenix Suns versus the Los
pump it
Angeles
up.
Lakers. The Lakers who lost, if you're watching this or listening to this, they lost their game on Sunday against Phoenix in LA. So in the words of Big Brother Zeke, home field advantage is out the window. The series is tied 2-2. As much as I like to believe that the Lakers can get it done, and I'm going to let Kesey start, I'm not so sure anymore.
I'm going to let you start
I'm not so
Thank
sure
you.
anymore.
I was hoping you did that.
Go ahead, bro. Go ahead, Zeke. I'm not so sure anymore.
since he want to throw the.
I will never. No, I won't say I will never. I will stop. I stopped doing this a long time ago. Counting LeBron James out.
Wow.
Because
Push one of those buttons for yourself. We're shocked to get
Can
that.
I get the round of applause for that one?
Push one of those buttons for
Can I get the
yourself.
round of applause on that one? That's what I'm talking about.
Glad to hear it. Glad
because
to hear it.
LeBron James has I'm usually the first person to say this ain't it. This ain't his year, such and such and such. But I've seen LeBron James because I thought the play-in tournament, it was a wrap for him then. For him to be at the point he's at now, and for them to, because that's what earlier you asked me who's gonna make it. I said Phoenix in the Bucks. I was really crossing my fingers and I was hoping because I feel like if you can beat the Lakers, you can beat anybody. That's how I feel. But I won't count LeBron James out because it's LeBron James and because Phoenix, let's be honest here. These first 2 seeds, Phoenix and Utah, nobody's taking them serious. But if you beat the Lakers, you should be able to at least make it to the NBA Finals. But going back to your question, I can't count LeBron out, so I'm thinking Lakers in 7. That's what
should they be worried?
Who? The Lakers?
But see,
They should be worried because Anthony Davis is hurt.
And Chris Paul appears to be 100%.
Chris Paul is starting to get back. He's and he's 38, so it take your body a little bit of time. But even with that, LeBron James is nobody on that Phoenix Suns can give him problems. So we haven't seen
nobody on the Lakers can hold Devin Booker
the only
other
person
than LeBron.
But he's not a problem.
But you also got to realize
maker.
Caldwell Pope is out as well too. So you know what I mean.
But he hasn't really been a difference maker in this series anyway.
He was a difference maker in that championship run.
He was the difference maker this season.
In the bubble.
This season, he's been a difference maker. So KCP being out, but KCP being out is a big deal. It's a big deal.
He knocked down some big shots,
You
man.
think it's a big deal?
Yeah,
It's a big deal.
Okay. So obviously you're standing. With
You know I'm rocking with it. Come on.
I mean, I picked the
And
Lakers.
how many games though?
Now, has it changed since last week? I think you had it last week. You had them 4-2.
I'm sticking to it. 4-2.
4-2.
Lakers.
So the Lakers going to win the next 2.
Win the next 2.
Okay. I'm going to stick with the Lakers. I'm troubled. I need them to play better.
But
it can't just be LeBron.
But
Anthony Davis is so fragile. Let me ask you this. Let me rephrase the question. If Davis doesn't come back, are the Lakers in trouble?
No.
Because he left the game today and did not return.
No.
They're not in trouble if he doesn't come back.
Not if he don't come back the next game. Because the one thing y'all have to realize about LeBron James is he has levels of basketball that he plays at. Mm-hmm. And he hasn't even peaked the level of playoff basketball that he plays at because he hasn't felt the need to go there yet.
This what I'll say to that, Keezy. LeBron James, usually when the playoffs start, he shuts it down. Social media, don't talk to me. I'm locked in.
He sure
LeBron
does.
James has been tweeting.
He has been tweeting.
He has been tweeting.
And he's been actually pretty angry if you've been watching his tweets.
Not even angry, just pretty social.
He went off about the Russie situation.
He said something about
The
that.
Trae Young situation.
He said something about that.
He's been standing behind social justice.
But him being the face of the league, he has to say something about those different things.
I agree with you. I'm just saying that it's interesting.
But normally, like you said, he doesn't.
He shuts it down.
But once he shuts it down, it's a problem.
So it's either he's shutting it down because he's not taking the Phoenix Suns seriously, or he's not shutting it down because he's like, I
gotta say something.
I gotta say something. So it's one of the two.
So he's
but
under
I just,
You think he's under pressure?
I don't think he's under pressure. I just think that LeBron James, like Kesey said, he has levels.
Like you said, those are his brothers. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He has to speak up for them.
Yeah.
He's the face of the league.
He
I mean,
is.
if he don't speak up for him, what does that say about you as the face?
Yeah.
Hey, what did Pat Bev say? LeBron said we going back to play, so we all going back to play.
I don't want to hear nothing you got to say about Patrick who?
LeBron James.
Moving on to the Eastern Conference. Philly are playing like a possessed team. They are dogging the Wizards.
They should.
3-0. I think the sweep is done on Memorial Day. Philly will put this game away.
Didn't I say they was going to win at least one?
You said Washington was going to win at least one.
I thought they were going to win one too.
I thought they was going to win one.
I thought,
but now I'm looking and I'm like,
but you know what's funny about this?
They can't even hold the bench.
The interesting thing about this is that Philadelphia, I don't think anybody is taking them serious because everybody's talking about either the Brooklyn or the Bucks. So when it comes to Philadelphia, I'm glad they're sweeping Washington Wizards because they're making a statement like, "Hey, we're here too. Don't get it twisted." Whether Embiid win the MVP or not, he's still like, "Hey, I'm gonna get my money. I'm gonna lead this team. I will this team to a victory."
But let's take Russie and Beal out of the picture. Let's not act like Washington. They were still a 10th seed. They're 8th.
Oh yeah, they're garbage.
They're 8th because of the play-in. So it shouldn't really surprise us.
That's what I mean.
You know,
it doesn't surprise us, but it's one of those things where like they were on a nice little run towards the end of the season, and I think that when a team on runs like that, you have to give them a little leeway. Like, okay, they can make some noise. Like Kesey, if they'd have got one, I'm like, that's cool. Yeah. That's cool. Yeah. But for them to just be getting literally blew out by like 20, 30 points every game.
Every game.
That's showing me that Philadelphia is here. They're not playing games.
No, it's not showing me anything because you're talking about the Washington Wizards.
But if you watch the
that's
games,
that's another angle.
That's the thing you have to look at. Like,
That's true too.
They can't take this as they whipping on the Wizards because the Wizards are a beat up team right now. The Wizards have nobody outside of Bill and Russie.
But you know what? If you watched any of these games, and I've watched most playoff games, the Wizards don't even look like they're in it from the beginning. Like Philly doesn't even have to fight back. They just come out and dog them.
I mean, I think that goes more to the play-in tournament because it's draining.
Yeah.
And then when you get to the playoffs, and then all of a sudden you're emotionally drained, you're physically drained. So by the time you get to the playoffs,
so the play-in tournament is kind of a setup, huh?
I'm not saying it's a setup
for the one seed to have a break in the first round.
Well, LeBron loved it last year, but hated it when he had to be in it. So,
but he sure didn't bow down to it.
So we all got Philly around the table.
He ain't at home watching the playoffs like
Steph
Curry.
This is sweet.
Is it a sweet case?
Yes.
Okay. And what else were you saying? I'm just
I said he ain't bowing down like your boy Steph Curry at home watching him.
Well, this has been another episode of No, I'm just kidding. We got 3 more to go. I'm shocked. I am shocked and disappointed that our most improved player does not look like he's earned that title in the playoffs.
I think you have to sit back and really look at Randle as a player.
The New York Knicks are down 3-1. They won that first one, and the Hawks. It's like we all got whoopings growing up, right? Kesey probably got the less because he was spoiled. We got whoopings, just like running from your parents with that belt.
Where did you hear that from?
Man, shut up. It's like running from your parents with the belt. And that's how the Knicks look against the Hawks. Like they're running from their parents. And the Knicks don't look ready. Wait a minute. Derrick Rose is moving back into the starting lineups, according to a report that came out today.
He started the last 2 games.
So he's going to move back and he's going to stay in the starting lineup. I think it's over for the Knicks. Go ahead, Keith. And I picked the Knicks to win.
I hate to say it, but I was rolling with you, Randall. I was rolling with you, bro. You have totally let me down. You have hurt my feelings. You have hurt
that war back.
No. He earned that.
I'm kidding, Randall. The thing is, you have to realize, playoff basketball is a whole new level.
Right.
Regular season basketball is regular season basketball.
Yeah.
That's why they call it regular season basketball.
Yeah.
And with this being his first go round,
that was my point.
It's tough. So this is a learning lesson for him.
Okay.
Of what he needs to do, what he has to watch for, what he has to prepare for.
So is it conditioning?
It's not conditioning.
It's just when it comes to the playoffs, it's different.
Every time Randall touches the ball, it's a double team coming from every way.
Side note,
which he is not used to all regular season.
Side note, and we're gonna get back to the Knicks, but did y'all notice that they were Jordan ruling Holiday?
They were what?
Jordan ruling them, putting 3 defenders on Holiday. Like he couldn't even get past the court. Drew Holiday during those Bucks games. Go back and watch the highlights. They had 3 defenders on them. Go ahead, back to the Randall and the Knicks.
What? But I just, I don't know. I don't know what that had to do with anything either.
I'm just saying. It had a lot because the Bucks were next on the list.
I just scratched my head on that, America.
I
didn't know what was going on.
The Bucks were next on the list, but go ahead.
Okay.
I am disappointed in the play of Randall.
But like I said, Randall is struggling because he has to adjust to the different type of pace of basketball that is being played now. Sure. It's not up and down.
This is his first go. This is his first playoff go around.
This is grit, grind. Every play is aggressive. Not every 3 plays is aggressive. Every single play is aggressive. Every single time he touches the ball, you got to be ready to make a decision. Either you're going to score or you're going to get the ball out of your hand. And I don't think he's adjusted to getting that ball out of his hand fast enough in order for his team to be successful. And that's why they're losing.
Okay.
I mean, I as much as I agree with both of you guys, I think it's y'all disrespecting Atlanta a little bit because this team, since McMillan has taken over, has been like 28-12. This team was at the bottom of the bottom, and they have worked their way all the way up to the position that they're in. This team is balling. Trae Young is a bona fide young superstar. I think that they have shooters built all around him. The fact that they are playing this good without Lou, like he's not the first person to come off the bench, and it's still one of those teams where like you have to watch out for them. They're a little sneaky team.
Hold on a minute.
Yeah.
You said that they ain't the team without Lou.
I said they haven't been playing. He's not the first person off the bench.
He's not the sixth man anymore.
You talking about Wing Lou, right?
Yeah, Wing Lou.
Yeah.
Don't act like he in LA. He was the first person off the bench.
Okay.
6th man of the year 3 times.
Over there, that was okay.
Over in Atlanta is not.
Over in Atlanta, Trae is getting the minutes.
What I'm saying is he still has to be taken off the bench. But what I'm saying is, well, first of all, it looks either one of both those teams have been doing better. But I'm just saying that Atlanta is a better team overall.
They are.
Than the New York Knicks.
They are. And
unfortunately, with Randall struggling, the whole team seems to be struggling because Derrick Rose is getting his, but everybody else is missing. So it's like,
Barrett's like he's not even there.
Do you even wonder
his first year?
Do you know why that is?
This is their first year.
And Rose,
Rose is a veteran.
A veteran.
He's a veteran, and unfortunately, even as a veteran, like we've all know, D Rose has lost his step, but so he can only do so much as far as these games go. I think New York will win. They'll win their next home game, and then after that, the series will be over.
Yeah,
6 games, and that's nothing to frown at.
I tend to disagree with you only because when I look back at this, I did have faith in the Knicks. I think I said the Knicks. I think I picked 7 or maybe 4-2, but there's really not a big difference between the 4 and the 5 seed. There's not a big difference. There's a couple game difference. So it can traditionally, if you've watched the NBA, it has gone both ways. I think the Knicks, they blew it. It's over. Atlanta's in their head. Trae Young is playing like a superstar. He is a man possessed. He was disrespected. His family was disrespected. And he's trash talking. And he's embraced the villain role. He doesn't want to be the eat your vitamins, say your prayer character. He wants people to boo him. He wants you to do that. He got people blowing in his hair. The player is blowing in his hair on the court. He has embraced.
Eat your vitamins, say your prayers.
Hulk Hogan, man, that's a old wrestling reference. Don't act like you don't know.
I never heard that.
I don't know.
So get him, bro. Get him, Mr. Producer. Listen. Trae Young has embraced that role, and he is balling, and he's the glue to the success of Atlanta. So this series is over. Atlanta wins it 4-1, in my opinion. In the final one, hold on.
I think you are somewhat right, but I think some of the role players around Trae
they're balling too.
They elevated a little bit higher than I expected them to.
Yeah,
like John Collins and Bogdanovich.
Collins has been a baller. Y'all just didn't know the name.
Listen,
I knew his name.
I knew he was a baller, but they have stepped it up.
And you're a hothead. Yeah. What? Okay, go ahead.
That's what you call a hothead?
No,
he's toned down.
I'm not saying he's a hothead. I'm saying he's young and he's young playing. Cabela is the guy who has been getting the double doubles.
What's the guy name that the Bucks messed up?
You said his
Bogdanovich.
Bogdanovich.
Yeah, I see why the Bucks wanted him. I see why the Bucks wanted him.
Man, he has a man. I'm telling you like this.
He is sharp.
I've seen a couple of his releases.
Sharp.
I'm talking about .4.
Yeah.
0.5.
Oh, he can score. He can certainly score.
And he can shoot. Like he can shoot.
He got a .5 release.
Yeah. So I see why the Bucks wanted him. Like, I see why y'all wanted him.
Just think of him, somebody like him with a Giannis.
Scoring. Yeah. We could have used that scoring. I mean, Brogg is good. Him and Trae together are great. I got Atlanta.
I got Atlanta in 6.
I got Atlanta in 5.
I got Atlanta in 6.
All right, and then the final one, we already know the Bucks. Now I guess I can say it. Drew Holiday was Jordan ruled. They had 3 defenders on him, but that series is over. Bucks is the only team to pull off a sweep. The final series is Brooklyn and Boston. They play tonight on TNT on the 30th. What do y'all like between Brooklyn and Boston?
All right. Let me go ahead and get started first.
Go ahead.
Because you know I'm on Brooklyn's. Yes. I'm on that. Listen.
Dude hates Brooklyn.
Listen.
He hates Brooklyn.
Brooklyn is by far lucky. They get by luck, to me. And I think their luck is going to run out at some point. And I'm hoping it's the Bucks. But I know they're going to beat Brooklyn. I know they're going to beat Boston. But to let Tatum put up 50 on you.
They don't hold defense.
They don't play D. And Tatum's not
But I'm just saying. Think about that. They let Tatum put up 50 on them.
Good 50.
You let Giannis put up 50 on you and y'all going to get beat by 50. That's all I got to say about that.
And here's the thing. Tatum put up 50 and they only won by 6 points. So if I'm Brooklyn, I'm not worried.
But you got to realize Kevin Durant had 39 and Harden had 40-something.
I'm going to tell you the difference.
Kyrie
the
only
difference,
had 16.
Yeah, that's the difference right there. Dre boy, Kyrie, that's the difference right there. I think he made a bold comment like Kyrie tends to do. He wasn't wrong in his comment because Boston is racist as it get, but it was still one of them. It was still one of them things where like, oh, that's what we need to do to get in your head. Now, obviously, he didn't say anything. They didn't say anything to him during the game, or he would have said something. But I think it was already in his head. He was already in his head because of the feedback he got. So, but once that's over with, Brooklyn's going to do what Brooklyn does, which score a lot of points, and they're going to get them out of here. I don't even see Boston should be happy that they won the one game because they were looking like they're going to get swept too.
Yeah,
so if Boston wins tonight, what do you say?
If Boston wins tonight, first of all, we all need to buy lottery tickets because I think the sun is shining on. Everybody in Boston needs to get their scratch off right away. That's number one. But if they do win tonight, they're gonna lose that series. Now, if it goes to 6 or 7 games, that's more telling about Brooklyn than it is about Boston.
Yeah, and I agree 130%. If Brooklyn lets Boston take them to even 6 games, the Bucks should beat them easily. If they let Boston, because Boston
I agree with that.
Is not a team that's prepared to beat the Nets. They are not a team prepared. I have Brooklyn ending this week 4-1, and they'll do it decisively.
I'll tell you like this. If Boston lets Tatum lead them like he led them the last game, they might have a chance to win one more game.
Okay.
But other than that, they cooked the barbecue chicken. That's
you
all I
say it the right way.
And
they are barbecue chicken.
They are barbecue chicken. And that's all I got to say about that.
Thank you all for sticking with us on this extended playoff episode. It is great to have our brother Zeke back in the building. We miss your humor.
Who said it's great? They should have left that Negro where he was at.
Listen to us on Spreakers, Google, iHeart Podcasts, Apple, Spotify. Like, subscribe, share, rate us up. Like us on social media at 94 Feet Podcast. That's 94FT Podcast on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. Thank you for listening. We appreciate you. Go Bucks.
All right, peace.
94 feet.